might see behind me that I have this beautiful autumn wallpaper that's covered in all of these bright colored sticky notes, and they are my unfinished projects. And I posted this on Instagram about a week ago, and a lot of people responded that they also have this problem of having so many unfinished projects. And as I was digging into the emotions that I was feeling and how I would end up ever finishing all these projects, it really started to make me think of the concept of the why I'm doing it, why it matters. Can I communicate the why more, and really getting in touch with that feeling of why and that story behind my work and projects. And it made me think, why don't I just get on camera and explain the why behind my daily work in a short video? Yesterday, I worked on a slideshow or a training package called How to Launch, or How to Get Your First 1,000 Emails, Customers, or Followers. Now, it might sound like conventional internet marketing, but I've had a lot of people booking these idea storming calls with me recently. We spend 90 minutes together, people share their ideas, their social and environmental impact ideas that they're working on, and then they ask me for advice on gamification and behavioral psychology, and that inevitably ends up with a lot of advice on how to launch things, how to do internet marketing, how to get stuff off the ground. And I noticed that every single person that books one of these calls with me has a real gap in their understanding of how to get something from nothing to just getting it off the ground, getting some early traction, building that early audience, and testing their idea in the real world. And what happens is that people have an idea, and the idea is just kind of like a fantasy. You know, they're doing drawings, doing slideshows, thinking about the idea, talking about the idea, and it's really just a hypothesis. And the thing is, until you've actually started implementing this idea with real humans in the real world, it's almost inevitable that this idea will change, and that your first early idea is actually obscuring a much better idea. Maybe not a completely different idea, but a more refined idea, a better iteration of it. They call it pivots in startup psychology. So your idea is really just like a draft. It's just a hypothesis. And I keep explaining all these concepts over and over again. So I was like, oh my God, I really need to put this in a slideshow and start sharing it with people so they know how to launch and how to get their first early customers. And the concept that I wanted to convey, the sense of this why I wanted to get through in this video, is people think they need an idea or they need a concept. You do not need an idea or a concept. What you need is an audience. You need a group and you need a vision. And social science says that all social movements are built from this magical trifecta of three things. This is a leader, which is you, the entrepreneur. This leader might be Dr. Martin Luther King with the I Have a Dream speech. You have a vision, which is your I Have a Dream speech. This is also called a cognitive alternative, this other world you are asking people to come with you on a journey towards. And then you have the group. So you've got you, a group of people, and a vision. That is all you need to get started. So you need to get to work illustrating the vision of where you want to go. Where is this promised land? Where is this place? What is the new world that we're building? And you need to develop all of the marketing tools to start getting people to join you on that. And what I call building all this out is an octopus on the internet. That's what you need to start building. You don't need an idea, you don't need funding, you don't need an app. What you need to start doing first is building your octopus. And what most people don't realize, firstly, that you don't need an idea or a product to start building it. You just need a vision, a cause, and you, the leader. But what you do need, and what 80% of the work is in, is building up these tips of the tentacles. The tips of the tentacles are these messages that go out into the internet and they grab people's attention. You see, there are all these people that have never heard of your idea or your cause or your program or whatever you're trying to sign people up towards. There are a lot of things competing for everybody's attention, and you need to put these tentacle tips out into the world that are going to grab people's attention and suck them in. These are things that stand out on social media, things that are attention grabbing. It could be a free course, a training video, a workshop, a group, a party, a DIY like info nugget, a free guide or a free video to learn whatever you think is just going to grab people's attention and hook them in to your cause. Then once we've grabbed people, then we move them up the tentacle. This is what you might call like a marketing funnel. So you grab their attention, and then you have a relation phase. Now, if you're really, really good, this phase might be really short. You might grab somebody's attention. They've never heard of you or your cause before. They might be really engaged, and you might be able to bring them all the way up the tentacle to closing a sale. But often that doesn't happen. This relationship building time can actually take years, often for some projects or some people. So you've asked people to sign up for something free. You've engaged them with an Instagram. Maybe they've read a blog post, or they've gotten like a quote for a product. And then you sign them up to relationship build with them while they're in the tentacle of the octopus. So group Zooms are great for this. You want to get people together in groups, knowing each other, communicating with each other to develop this type of following to join you and support you on your mission. And at this point, you still don't need an idea. You still don't need a product. You still don't need funding. And you want to be continually using all your content and all your social media to maintain this relationship building system. And as you've built this relationship, you're telling them a story about what you're doing and why it matters. Then you take people up to the head, which is the actual product or the sale or the close or what you actually ultimately want people to do. And you want to start building this first because you don't know if your idea is really going to work, if it's really going to capture people. But you start practicing by designing and creating those tips of the tentacles, getting people to sign up. And if you can actually do that, if you can get 1,000 people, 100 people, even 10 people that you've never met before to sign up and join you on your mission, on your journey to get to this destination, then that's building the soil, that's building the audience for you to learn from to actually launch a product or a campaign or a startup with the fertile ground of an existing audience who are right behind you to make that mission come true. And if you've done a good job of getting people in to your octopus funnel, then what you can do is actually start to get people to take real world action. If it's putting in the solar, starting to compost, getting the EV, communicating with their local politician, joining a city council meeting to get more green space. You want to prove without spending a lot of money and a lot of time developing a product or writing code that you can actually get people in the real world to do stuff. And you can call that something like an action threshold. So the first thing to do is you build a vision of your story. The second thing you do is attract a group of people to join you on that vision. And the third thing you do is you try to get that group to take real action. And after you've done that, you should have a whole bunch of really good, amazing ideas that will be very different to your original idea. And there's a lot of easy, direct steps that you can take that you don't need a whole lot of funding for, that you can start doing right now to build your audience, to launch straight away now, to make sure that your idea is actually really good and not just building it in a vacuum. Start building your first 1,000 followers and audience and actually just start to get to know people and figure out what works, what gets traction. So this is something that I've been needing to explain over and over again to people in my idea storming calls. So yesterday I was just like, oh my God, I have to keep on explaining these concepts. So I've been designing it, putting it up. I've got a big picture of the octopus. 90% of the work is in the tentacles. It's in the marketing. It's in getting people on. That's the stuff that you have to get really, really good at, that often people are missing those particular skills. And there are so many things you can do to start signing people up, giving away free workshops, free PDF downloads, free audio, whatever, training, anything that you can do, you can put out on the internet to help sign people up to your, not your idea, but your mission or your vision. So that's what I did yesterday. I just wanted to communicate the why, the deeper why behind what I do in these videos, because ultimately when you can understand the why, when you can understand the motivation, that's what we really connect on. And that's what we're really here to share. Thanks for listening. And let me know if you think that sounds interesting. A short guide on how to launch and how to build your first 1,000 followers for social and environmental impact.